The ARG for Chapter 3 is coming to a close with the final VHS shared by Mob Entertainment. Hello everyone and welcome your faces into a brand new Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 ARG video. Today we're going to be talking about and of course breaking down the brand new VHS released by Mob Entertainment. So how do we get to the VHS video and even, watch it? Well, because of Mirko in the Poppy Playtime Discord server, we now know. So a big hats off to them for figuring out so quickly. So of course on the security site for the terminal or the PC that we log into for the ARG that we have been using for the last months or however long it's been now, it now comes up with a prompt saying exempt access violation at a bunch of numbers, which later will translate into something else. And it also says terminal lockout, security EEPROM invalid. This machine has invalid or missing security credentials. Please contact your administrator to re-image your machine. Now, of course, this just means we're locked out of the ARG's terminal now, and it also gives us a little clue as into where this ARG goes from here, because at the top, the numbers are a hexadecimal, and they translate into a bunch of text. This text, of course, reads CDBGK5JISF8, and this is a video link. So of course if we put that into YouTube, we get the unlisted Catnap recall video. Now before jumping into the actual video itself, I actually want to talk a little bit about the thumbnail. Now of course because it's a privated video, the thumbnail isn't exactly public, but with some extensions on Chrome you can actually see and of course Google the thumbnail for the video. And on the thumbnail it is actually quite intriguing because of course we see Catnap is the center focus of the image. What's interesting is the actual toy that we're looking at, I think might generally be the toy off the shelf, or the toy that is recalled, and it looks to be just sat left in play care. Now interestingly, the environment around it looks very similar to of course what we've seen in the trailer and teaser. So of course I do believe we're going to be seeing a lots of toys of the Catnap recalls scattered around play care. One interesting thought I did have was, will that play into the actual mechanics of Chapter 3? Perhaps these little Catnap cursed toys, or the ones that have been tampered with by Experiment 1006 and of course Catnap, I wonder if these toys that get recalled have some sort of modification to them that will aid Catnap in Chapter 3. Perhaps something like maybe a sensor, or could it release small quantities of the red gas to maybe disorientate the player or the toys they're trying to capture or, punish for being heretics and whatnot. I think also one interesting thing as well is on the floor in the thumbnail, there's just little pools of blood. Now, I do wonder if those are pools of blood from children or if they're pools of blood from the toys. But of course, I think we'll find that out very soon. Now, in the VHS, we get to re-watch the announcement or the animation that was shown to us previously about the smiling critters. So there's nothing new there, apart from when it ends, we get to see a beginning of a news broadcast, perhaps live, but basically it's programmed from the network WLE4. And there is a presenter on there discussing about how the smiling critters could, be dangerous, far more dangerous than you imagine for your children. The news presenter then goes on about how the smiling critters is a limited series in a cartoon meant to help promote the toys of the smiling critters and help, of course, boost the sales and, of course, make a wider reach to children. And of course, this is where the report turns a little bit sour because, of course, they present Catnap and how the inclusion of Catnap is having a negative impact. But why? Well, they go on to show you how to actually use these little toys or creatures in helps with sleeping and whatnot. So you pull on the actual tail of the toy and then, of course, that releases the chemical from the mouth. Now, of course, it's meant to release the lavender scent, but of course now we know that the Catnap product has been tampered with within the factory. As the presenter says, parents across the country report their children are experiencing strange and often violent nightmares, and beside them their little grinning Catnap. And of course, Playtime Co.'s only real move is to recall the Catnap doll completely. And thanks to the ARG, we actually know they could not pinpoint what was going on, and there was a lot of confusion within Playtime Co. about it. And even the presenters noted that they did remove the Catnap doll from the line completely and marketed without Catnap. But of course, like he says, the damage was already done. Now, could this be the fall of Playtime Co? Could this be the straw that broke the camel's back? Could it have been from this point it snowballed, and this is where we saw Playtime Co. absolute downward spiral? And I think this possibly could have been probably one of the best examples we have, or evidence if you will, because I don't think they are going to be coming back from this, especially with, of course, children's safety regulations. Now, I don't know if Playtime Co. is, of course, set in the real world, but I can imagine this would be a very big issue. And to still know they have no idea of how it's happening, and within the company itself, internal errors are going on and people are stressing, and of course documents and transcripts are going left and right because they're just so confused on what's going on, knowing in the end that it's their own creation that is going to be causing their downfall. Experiment 1006, and of course Theodore and Catnap. And of course the actual real damage from the report is right at the end, where the presenter goes on about saying, will disappearing be that easy? The exact case of these incidents is still unknown. Only one thing appears glaringly certain: your children are not safe with Catnap. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but the wording in there is very specific. Of course, incidents being the biggest red flag, they aren't obviously taking blame for these situations and these accidents and, of course, what's affecting the children. And also the word glaringly and how much there's emphasis on it. Now, we know Catnap likes to either perch on the beds and watch the player, or, of course, perch from the ceiling and watch the player. And he does it with those big black and white eyes, and it glares into your soul, is one way to put it. But also, as they say it in the VHS, they're actually zooming in a bit on his eyes. So I do wonder if that's going to be an indication of some of the maybe mechanics that we're going to see for Chapter 3. But I think it's very important that someone has internally kept this VHS within Playtime Co. as possibly a way to contain it, perhaps, or just a way to archive it. But either way, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm really intrigued about where this is going, especially if the ARG is now finished. I don't think it will ever be finished, but I think there, of course, will be a big break between now and the next part of the ARG, because, of course, Chapter 3 will answer probably nearly all of the questions regarding ARG. So, with that being said, let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you liked this video, and of course, if you liked it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and, of course, like. It really helps the channel out and myself. But with that being said, have a lovely morning, day, or night, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next Poppy Playtime Theory video.